This right here is what Krell should have always been. Forget the summons, forget degen auras. Krell is a legendary hero, and he should always be treated like one, hanging with his boy Heinrich Kemmler. We got Fat Bats mining for boogers, we got Black Knights newly reworked in the Shadow and the Blade, and we've got the Cobalt Blue of the Barrow Legion, marching their whites against Grimgor and the Green Tide. Closest we're gonna get to the Immortals. Crimson Killers are armed to the teeth, and Shelob is showing up to the party as well. There's a horde of Greenskins on the way, and we're fighting in the deep snow of Glacial Lake, so I figured if we're gonna honor Krell with a proper replay, might as well do it on his home turf. This is the ancient burial tomb where Kemmler found his boy Krell and resurrected him in service to Shyish. Got a fun build for this one, with the Terrorgeist up top to spread some holiday cheer, shrieking all over the battlefield, and the Skelly Man of the Hour himself waiting down below. Now, unfortunately, you still cannot use Krell like this in ranked battles. He's in the campaign exclusive department for the Barrow Legion currently, which means tournaments and battle lists are the only way to get him as an actual unit and not a summon. At his base cost of 800, he's pretty overpowered for the price, so he's got gold chevrons in this one because upgrading him is not cost effective in the slightest, and he's a bit more balanced at like 1200 gold, but still pretty scary for the price point. For obvious reasons, we will not be bringing the Krell summon in this battle, and as for Kemmler, well, he's a Master of the Dead, a prolific necromancer with regen and melee attack buffs for nearby troops when he wades in, and his Cloak of Mist of Shadows will protect him should Grimgor try to shove him in a locker and take his lunch money. Backed up by a lot of sources of terror, got a Vargulf on the left flank, and of course the terror from Krell, and 2 Black Knights on each side of this battlefield. They got a facelift recently to the tune of a +8 bonus versus infantry. Makes them even better in their role of harassing pack lines and eating skirmishers for dinner. Now for the Greenskins, this is not the easiest matchup in the world for them. Leadership can kind of be a problem for them going up against all the spooky scaries, and one of the ways they can combat that is the way Wyvern is doing so here, with a death ball of an Arachnarok Queen, or some giants, and a bunch of Black Orcs, because they're all immune to Psych, which means terror does nothing. And this entire strategy revolves around staying high and tight, keeping formation, and using those smoke bombs anytime the monsters or the cav dive bomb into the fight. Orc Shaman's got his Brain Burster for exploding blobs of zombies into globs of cold meat, and a Night Goblin Shaman with Itchy Nuisance and Gorkle Fix-It. Both going to be pretty annoying in the blob fights that seem kind of inevitable when fighting against the vampires. And of course, there's Grimgor Ironhide with his trusty pal Gitsnick. What's the over-under on how many people complain about how bad he is in the comment section below? Yeah, we get it. Greenskins need a campaign overhaul. Grimgor needs some buffs for sure. It will happen, probably in the first quarter of next year, but until then, Greenskins will continue to be competitive, but perhaps a bit more limited in their options when they're going up against the undead, which is just how asymmetrical balance works, right? Far from unwinnable in this matchup, as we are about to see here. I will say, one of my least favorite things about the Vampire accounts and the Barrow Legion is that they kind of encourage blobbing and monster mashing for both themselves and the enemy, which can make for some pretty slog-it-out fights that maybe aren't always so interesting, but we'll do our best here to make sure this one is worthy of the hallowed halls of Milk and Cookies Total War. And here come the Dwarfs on a chain. 8-peak loonies going ham with their Dance of Death. Certainly one way to get things popping off. Taking the skeleton front line down to almost half HP with some Gobbo Fanatics. With the Squigs and Grimgor following up that charge, Skellies are gonna buckle almost immediately. And take a look as that HP bar plummets. You don't get to see a close-up of Fanatics very often, but when they land a solid chunking shot like that one, it can do some serious work. And Grimgor and the Squigs are right behind, and the Crimson Killers are right behind them. That is a powerful HQ in the center, and cracking that nut is not going to be an easy task. Terrorgeist going to shriek into the not moving Arachnarok Queen, who takes a chunk of her health down from that. Skeleton Spearmen waiting on the wings, don't want to get everything completely blobbed up, but no foot of Gorks, no AoE clearing from the Greenskins here. I guess from Brain Burster there is, but nothing I really have to worry about as long as I don't blob up too much. Not going to be too much of an issue. But the Black Orcs are certainly going to be one. Zombies are going to make them get a little bit fatigued, I guess. That's about all they're going to do. Might tickle them a few times with their daggers, but for the most part, they're going to get run over in about 5 seconds, and they're already gone. And it's gone. Infantry grind is just not going to go the way of the Vampire counts, but the mobility game certainly will. Black Knights and Fell Bats can do a good job shutting down those Wolf Rider archers who are really just not very scary to anything I have on the field. Vargulf and Terrorgeist grouping up on Shelob. Getting some sync kills on the Black Orcs too, but that Terrorgeist maybe in the wrong neighborhood. And looking back on it, what we probably should have done here is flown in from the other flank. What the problem is now is the Terrorgeist is sandwiched in between Grimgor and Shelob without the support of the Skeleton Spearman. If he came in from the other flank, he'd only be getting attacked from one side and be a lot easier to disengage. But the Wolf Riders shoved up all the way across the white line. Itchy Nuisance going down on the huge blob that is forming between both armies, and Heinrich Kemmler just chasing after that poor Goblin Shaman. He has nowhere to go. Can the old man catch up to him? Crotchety, cane-wielding maniac. He's going right after that Shaman, and it looks like there's no infantry to block his charges either, but he might be able to escape. Zombies going flying. Krell is in there dueling Grimgor, which overall will probably not go too well for him. He's got heals, which Grimgor of course does not, but gotta be careful when you're fighting Grimgor in a 1v1, and already the Wolf Rider archers are getting shut down and chased off the map. Terrorgeist went down to half HP in that fight with Grimgor and the Arachnarok Queen. Not a surprise, and Heinrich Kemmler still going after the Goblin Shaman. Krell will disengage. He got beat up by the Meme Gore, and the Vargulf going in there to cycle. And what we're going to try to do here, of course, is make use of Invocation of the Heck and that regen. No reason to stay in the pocket against them for a super long time. You can disengage, wait for them to maybe get a little bit out of position, like Shelob is doing now. Huge Shriek going to take her down to about 2,400 HP. And now get all the goons up on top of her and take her lunch money. Where's Tom Bombadil when you need him? We've got a white infestation here. Greenskin Wolf Riders are not having a good time engaging with these white kings of yore, and they're going to run from the map, and that means all the Wolf Riders are dead and gone, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. Again, they weren't going to be the biggest threat, but still would have been nice to have those in the late game, maybe plunking away at the low armor of the Vargulf. And the Arachnarok Queen is trying desperately to escape from Krell, to escape from the White King, to escape from Kemmler, who are all surrounding her, and she's going to retreat into the safety of the Black Orc goons, and she's going to get there as the Crimson Killers and the rest of the Black Orcs push through. Those Unbreakable Goblins in the center also going to be a big issue, and would have been nice this game probably to have Wind of Death. Would have broke that box up real quick, but it's not a very good spell in multiplayer, just very easy to dodge. This is what Black Knights are super good at doing now. They're just very cost effective at killing infantry. They don't have massive melee attack values, even when you do include that +8 bonus for infantry, but the fact that they can get that charge bonus off, you can field so many of them, the cause fear can do the rear charge. I mean, it works out pretty well, and they're going to beat up on Nasty Skulkers pretty nicely, as that poor Night Goblin Shaman runs home to his mama. The Barrow White Bros are on the hunt for Grimgor, and big trouble brewing at Little Lake. The Spider's Poison and Smoke Bomb from Goldshev Nasty Skulkers wrecking my bat. Losing the Terrorgeist here would be disastrous. Wyvern comboing those together exceptionally well, even getting some chomps in with the Squigs, but the Terrorgeist will take flight and stabilize, thankfully. Could have been really bad, while Heinrich Kemmler gives them Das Boot. Das is Sylvania! And just completely rips his face off with a kick from... That's why Warhammer is so great, man. What other game can you see an old man kick someone's face off? Literally. So good. And the Terrorgeist has a bit of a juicy target to fire into. Another Death Tree going to slam right into the middle of the Crimson Killers and the Unbreakable Night Goblins, with the Black Knight getting a hammer and anvil off. Spider Hatchlings coming out of the woodwork. Krell, Kemmler, the White King, and the Terrorgeist retreating. And they're going to pop an Overcast Invocation to Heck, trying to get them healed up. Now, looking back on it, probably should have kept Krell out of the radius of that spell to ensure both the White King and the Vargulf got the regen. It looks like, yeah, it did hit Krell, which was a mistake. I'm not going to get much healing out of that. And I don't think it hit the Terrorgeist, which is unfortunate. But it does have its own source of regen, which is nice. Smoke Bomb over here going to do absolutely nothing. The Vargulf and Krell and the White King, well, I guess just the White King and Vargulf are already in there, teaching them some manners. Terrorgeist going to cause, well, not terror, because the Black Orcs are immune to Psych, but Krell, Terrorgeist, and Black Knights working in tandem should be able to chuck them down. And thankfully, it's a great way to break down the box. Anything that gets caught out of position just gets eaten, and then continuously try to break them down, pull them out of position, and then jump on them. And that's why having that mobility advantage is so important. But for Wyvern, he's doing the right thing. Keeping it all in a ball, keeping them around the Arachnarok, and making sure anything that does dive in, then it gets munched on by a big, scary 150 armor spider. And killing her even though she doesn't have a lot of HP left, is going to be really challenging because Krell is in a bad way with some worse black orcs. Completely surrounded, and it looks like his animation is going to carry him out of that fight, but gotta commit, because if Krell goes down here, this game is over. Game, set, match. Terrorgeist going in there too, sensing blood in the water, realizing how close the Ragnarok Queen is to dying. Wyvern retreating through the safety of his own Black Orcs, and the Crimson Killers, they are going to mulch those Black Knights. There's nothing for it. They're all going to get torn up, and they did what they needed to, honestly. They got some good value kills against the Black Orcs. They got a lot of kills on the Nasty Skulkers and the Wolf Riders. Overall, I'd say they have definitely paid back their money and then some this battle. Grimgor getting kicked out of the group by that Vargulf punch, but he's starting to crumble. Heinrich Kemmler is full HP for now. Ragnarok Queen has been broken off. This is where the Terrorgeist can go prey on him. Yeah, why can't we have some mates? Big, juicy, plump spider meat. Terrorgeist might be able to finish her off here. Grimgor suddenly not in such a good position, surrounded by Krell and the Vargulf. But Heinrich Kemmler, it's pretty scary to put him into a bunch of Black Orcs. I don't need to chase him off with the Terrorgeist. Looks like the Black Knights will be able to finish the job as they crumble out of existence. They'll take down the big Mama Spider, and she's gone. And that's a big blow to the Greenskin Tide. But this thing is not even remotely over. Krell, the big Mohawk champion of Khorne, who's been around for eons at this point, he's getting in there with his Black Axe, and Gobbo heads are gonna roll. That is not a fair 1v1 at all. Good night, sweet prince. May Gork and Mork sing thee to thy rest. And there are a ton of Black Orcs still to cut through before this one is over. And Grimgor, he's not dead either. He's in the middle of a bunch of infantry that's going to be incredibly hard to kill. Now, again, all I have at this point is terror-causing stuff. Got some good melee combatants for sure. Krell can go toe-to-toe with a lot of Black Orcs and come out pretty well. But no question about it, getting surrounded by Crimson Killers, getting surrounded by a bunch of Black Orcs, that is going to chunk through your HP over time. And Heinrich Kemmler is getting beaten down by Grimgor now, and he's getting taken to Pound Town. Swirly Town. Grimgor is one hit, two hit, and oh, okay, the Orc Shaman's dead and headless now. That's good. But yeah, Heinrich Kemmler just died. Like, we turned away for about a second and a half, and Grimgor finished him off for good. Cloak of Mist and Shadows was not ready, or it had just been popped, and it had just worn off. And that leaves us in a position without our Lord. Vargulf, Terrorgeist, and Krell, I believe the only units left on the map for the Vampire Counts and the Barrow Legion as WA pops yet again. And this is where things get real scary, because a Vargulf is much better in combat when he's bouncing in and out. When he's stuck in there, surrounded by armor-piercing troops, things don't go very well for him. Terrorgeist learning that the hard way, realizing he needs to pull out. Leadership will stabilize on that. Krell beginning to feel the effects, but Grimgor is only a couple attacks from death, and if we can strike him down, then we will become more powerful than the Greenskins could ever possibly imagine. And it looks like Grimgor, where are you? Grimgor's dead. Grimgor is out of the picture now. 0 HP left on that bad boy, and that means Black Orcs and Unbreakable Gobbos are all that is left. And at this point, it's going to be pretty hard for the Greenskins to pull this one back. It looks like Krell has just too much HP. Terrorgeist and Vargulf are still regenning, and we're not going to be cycle charging too much, but a couple times here there will be pretty good to put the nail in the coffin for the Green Tide. And it really has come down to the three amigos. The Vargulf, the Terrorgeist, and Krell working in tandem, back to back to back. They've been kicking ass, and it looks like about to be a mass rout. But Crimson Killers armed to the teeth. Those anti-infantry, armor-piercing dual weapons, it'll do a number on really any lord. And you can see Krell was relatively close to full HP when this fight with the Black Orc started, and he's about to crumble out of existence now, but it looks like he is just barely gonna hold on. All that remains are a few of the 8-peak loonies and the Terrorgeist, and Krell himself have a couple more Christmas presents for those Greenskins to open. Cracking to open some boys with the cold ones, and here we go. A couple more attacks should be enough. Terrorgeist going to toss their lifeless corpses around, play with his food a bit, and that will seal the deal. Fun ending to a fun battle. Krell gonna put his Jumpmans on and yam it from the free throw line. Here we go, the dunk coming in now. Bam. God, he looks so badass. This is what Krell should have always been. Legendary hero. A unit you can just field whenever you feel like fielding him, rather than a summon. I still don't know why the summon thing happened. We have like Henri de Le Massif or whatever. We have like random heroes that no one's ever heard of before Total War Warhammer 2, making it in as actual, real, perfect legendary heroes, and it hasn't happened for Krell yet. I feel like Henry Le Massif is an example of a character that might be like CA saying, okay, when we go back to vampire counts 4 years down the road, we'll change him too, but it's already in the game. Like, he's already a campaign exclusive unit. Just move him into the actual Barrow Legion roster, make his price go up a little bit more, and you're good to go. I will say, with gold chevrons, it's really strong at about 1,200 gold, maybe a little bit undercosted because he gets Foe Seeker and Deadly Onslaught for free as part of his kit. I feel like that's obviously not perfectly balanced for multiplayer, but again, this was a custom battle, going for thematics here. Not super tryhard, not super tournament oriented, but I don't think either army was bad, and you can see similar stuff like this in competitive play. I think that the Death Ball with the Greenskins against vampire counts is probably the way to go. Typically speaking, they aren't going to have a way to punish that particularly well. Maybe with a Zombie Dragon Breast, you'd have a way to punish that, and of course Zombie Dragon would be good in this matchup, but typically not going to bring Purple Sun Azirius or Pit of Shades or Wind of Death in a competitive matchup because they're just going to dodge it and they're not going to get blobbed up if they see you have that spell. But having that command center around the Ragnarok Queen, I mean, it can work out really well. The issue that Wyvern ran into that game, of course, was that the Ragnarok broke ranks a couple times and each time took a tremendous amount of damage. I think with just a few changes in micro there, Greenskins probably take this game if Ragnarok doesn't take quite so much damage early on and stays in that box with Grimgor and the rest of the Black Orcs. Meanwhile, Vargulf and Terrorgeist got some crazy good chevrons, 3 each, all earned. Amazing, really fun. Krell's awesome. See you guys next time.